Hello, everyone. I'm Andy from ThinkMo. I am currently teaching CCIE courses. From today on, I'm going to share with you CCNA, CCNP, CCIE related technologies. Today we're going to talk about OSPFv3. So what is OSPFv3? We can look at it briefly. This is the IPv6 version of OSPF. Let's review OSPF. OSPF is the v2 version. That's the version of IPv4 that we're using right now. OSPF is the Link State Internal Gateway Protocol, developed by the ITF organization. Currently, IPv4 is used. The OSPF v2 version is used. It's based on IPv4. IPv6 is the version of v3. v3 is short for OSPF version 3. v3 is a routing protocol that runs on IPv6. Specific in the RFC also has corresponding introduction. I'm not going to go into that too much. Let's look at the third area. OSPF is modified based on v2. In fact, we can think of v3 as a separate routing protocol. v3 is not strictly based on v2. It is only modified with reference to v2. Because of itself for v2. It does not support changes to the original. The extension supports IPv6 protocol. It's the field of the TLV. TLV is called the type length value. Can we talk about what it does? Such as BGP or ISIS. It was in development. I've already thought about later expansion. For example, later support for other protocols. So we can just add it directly based on TLV. Just add the field of TLV. Let's say I want to add a new certification. T means type. Length is the exact length. Value means value. It's just what the length of the increased type is. Such as the value of the authentication password. So v2 itself does not extend TLV. v3 was developed separately. It just refers to some features of v2. It's still specifically link state. The SPF algorithm is also used. Now of course it's called ISPF. Enhanced SPF algorithm. So what exactly does OSPFv3 do? Its main purpose is to implement IPv6 network. So what's the difference between v3 and v2? First, v3 is not in packet and link state. IP-based data is inserted into header of the packet at the start of announcement. The message structure is no longer the same as that of v3. It looks so bloated. v3 uses a separate network protocol. These points might look complicated. We can look at it in detail. There are also 5 types of v3 packets. Same thing as v2. That's the Hello Package, DBD. Summary of the local LSDB. And then there's the LSR. Link State Request Packet. This is called a link state request. The LSU link status was updated. LSAC is called link status confirmation. The messages are all the same. The types of LSAs are different. In addition to the original Type 7 LSA. It also adds Type 2 LSA. That is, Type 8 LSAs and Type 9 LSA. This is what we usually refer to as routing information. There are some differences here. Type 8 LSAs are generated by each device. However, the LSA floods only on the local link. It is propagated based on links. Then there's the IPv6 structure of v3. The OSPF neighbor relationship is established here. It is based on the link local address. Link local address. The interface is configured with an IPv6 address. In this case, the link local address is automatically generated in Huawei. OSPFv3 is link-based. OSPFv2 is network segment-based. First, for IPv6 support. We can configure multiple IPv6 addresses. on the interface. They have the same function. And in OSPFv3, generally, only one address can be configured on an interface. There are also DR addresses and secondary addresses. That is, even IPv4. We can also use this paper interface, or configure the secondary address form, and then give it a second address, or a third address. What's the difference between these addresses? Like wives and concubines of old, the treatment is different. Everyone treats IPv6 the same way. One address and another address. No matter how many are configured, they all have the same ability and the same function. v3 does not establish neighbor relationships based on unicast addresses. Just treat the address on the interface as a leaf. Those of you who have heard the SPF algorithm before should be familiar with it. These are the type 8 LSAs that we talked about today. Let's talk briefly about type 9 LSA. It is in the network environment of MA, produced by DR. MA is a broadcast network. It floods in the area it belongs to. OSPF areas are divided into backbone areas and regular areas. We can have a brief understanding of type 9 LSA. Description of 10 types of LSA generated by the device. Indicates the IPv6 prefix associated with a type 1 LSA. This type of LSA generated by the DR is description. Indicates the IPv6 prefix address associated with type 2 LSA. How are OSPFv3 routes transmitted? What functions do type 8 LSA and type 9 LSA provide? Can we calculate routes properly without them? That's it for today. If there are any other skills you'd like to learn, feel free to leave a message or send me a private message. If you're interested in what I'm talking about, hope to like and subscribe more. Thank you. See you next time.